Hello, everybody, and welcome to this most recent episode of T-Shirt Joe's Fast Custom Podcast, sponsored by DWN Productions here at BOYGOB.com. Joe, one heck of a week. How about yours?
Yeah, it was, I'm busy, but that doesn't mean I got any money. So head on over to fastcustomshirts.com because if ever there was a time that you should treat yourself to a shirt, it is now. And hey, you've been good all week, right? And you deserve something a little special. So just go through, grab a couple. After that, head on over to dwnproductions.com and maybe you have, well, maybe time's already elapsed because Tom did some restructuring to the website, and that mask that you were waiting to press that button on may be gone by now. Maybe gone.
Two people already hit me up about the same mask that I took off just a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I said I was updating the site and was doing my best, but once you get in there, you get in the weeds and you're just like, yeah, this has been up for a minute. We can probably, yeah. And it feels like, God damn, my hand and my wrist are fucked just from doing the mouse
Yeah.
shit and having to like cut everything out. Sure, it's the magnetic tool, but it's a 20-year-old computer on a 20-year-old version of Photoshop, so it's not as fluid as it could be. And just sitting for hours and hours on that chair. Holy shit. Like my fucking wrist and hand are fucked. Yesterday, like this shit was like crippling over just from holding that fucking mouse and I couldn't do anything about it. Literally all weekend, all I was doing is just refuculating the website. I had to make, I don't know, 50, 60 new images. Uh, take pictures of shit and go in and do all the new coding and all the shopping cart shit. And it's a pain in the ass, but everything's purple and orange now, except for the individual mask pages that I forgot to do. And I'm not going to go back and do. I don't have the time. My wrist is blown out. I got 2 more weeks till I got to get on the road, and there's a lot to fucking get done. But I think it looks better now. So head on over to dwnproductions.com. What? Yep, I finally bought it back. But fuck that shit. Head on over to .net because that's the real shit, and I'm not going to promote the .com. Besides this, because fuck that shit. .net.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Yeah, head on over there, folks. Head on over there. Tom, I worked in the shop for on Saturday, yesterday, which is the first time I'd done so in a while. But as you mentioned, there's a lot of shit that needs to get done. I am also headed out in 2 weeks, not for as long an excursion as yours, but still, there's shit to get done. Uh, I've got one more pile of shit to sort through so I can see if there's any receipts or anything in there that I can get as many deductions as I can, my friend. As many as I. Oh shit, Juan might have some stuff. I gotta get with him tomorrow. Uh, yeah, and one of my goals for this year was to get off my ass and do more art stuff. So yeah, I finally started a new metal design, drawing some shit up. But because I can't make anything easier on myself, I started 3 new designs at once, and I'm just hopping back and forth. But let me draw this part, and fuck it, go to the other one. Let me draw this part. Hey, they'll all be finished around the same time, I think. Now one's a lot simpler than the other ones, so we'll see. I don't know. Do any of them have any marketability? Maybe one of them does. Maybe. The other two, it's gonna be like, oh, that's cool, man.
Like your Coffin Joe, you're gonna have to wait 18 years till they release a subpar box set.
Right. Maybe somebody will send that one. Yeah. Speaking of Coffin Joe, next week I may not have a Coffin Joe release review because I'm up to the disc that that they say is fucked up, but I'm gonna put it in there and see. Maybe it's not fucked up. Who knows? You know? Maybe everybody's just panicking. Hey, this one guy said it was bad, and let's all send our discs or tell them to send more discs out. But I haven't received a notification on that. They said somewhere around February 13th they would let us know about, you know, the replacement discs. I haven't heard shit. I don't know. But yeah, I'm in a weird mood, Tom. I'm just kind of what's the term? Melancholy, maybe? I don't know. I'm just like, or maybe a void of emotion, you know, to where I'm just like fucking going through the motions, doing the shit I'm supposed to do and not really giving a fuck, you know, just like an automaton, I guess you can say. A robot.
Yeah, give it a couple minutes and I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of laughs, Joe. But I just wanna touch on something you did. Yeah, coming up, Joe and I are each gonna be gone for like a week, 1 week after the other. So we don't know what the shows are gonna be like. There might not be shit for 2 weeks. Uh Maybe we can record a show while I'm at the hotel. Cause just the way that it lands, everything's gonna be fucked. Like I'm leaving on a Tuesday. Even if you come back on that Monday, I'm not gonna want to record shit. So yeah, and I just don't know how it's gonna be when I get there. Like we can get there and everything could be completely fucked and everything goes absolutely the wrong way. I'm not gonna want to do shit.
Oh,
But
you won't do shit because you'll have talked to so many people, Tom. You'll have sold so much shit. You've secured contracts with people and contacts with people, you know, and it'll set you up for years to come. That's what I'm hoping for you, buddy.
me too. That's all the shit I'm worried about because I don't plan on selling anything that I'm bringing. I just want to take orders and let people know. So I have maybe 1,100 flyers. Like that's a lot of flyers. That usually takes me a fucking like a more than a year to get rid of, even with the shows and shit that we do. And I keep thinking, oh, time's running out. Should I order more flyers? What
No,
if I run out of flyers?
I think that's a good amount you got, man.
And then, like when I posted the dry run, you're just like, do more. So I'm just like, oh fuck! So I already painted two more things, and there's three more hanging that I want to try and
But
get
that's
done.
inventory, right? That's not all the inventory that you have, or is it?
What do you mean?
Like, like what you showed on your dry run. That's not everything you have there at the shop, right? Or is it?
Yeah, that I'm bringing. I mean, there's like stuff hidden behind me that you can't see, and now I have like two more pieces. Hopefully, it'll be three. But yeah, I'm bringing. I
Now,
think like
everything
30 pieces.
you got, everything you've got there, because uh, you're displaying shit. You know, you're showing people what you do, even if it's stuff that you've done for other people or are currently doing it. It's just, hey, this is just for show. You know, this is what I do for these people. This is what I can do for you. You know, or something similar along these lines. You know, custom work. You know, uh,
Gotcha.
the more things that people can look at, the more, you know, that people are going to stop and look and maybe start talking to you. You know, it's just, we need eye catcher. You know, that shit
Yeah,
is a genuine thing, you know?
for sure. I mean, I think it's a lot. I don't have a whole lot of room
Hmm.
in there. So, yeah, I'm gonna bring as much as I can, but there's like a couple pieces. I'm like, no, I'm not bringing these. I think I have enough different shit though. It's just like I don't fucking know. That's why like I'm gonna have signs on the table that's just like, hey, order now or after the show, go online and order at DWN Productions and you can see all the shit there. So
Yeah.
I have no idea. I wanted a lot more. Like I wanted to make a lot more shit and new shit, but work came in, so it was just like, oh,
Yeah. Got to pay the bills. Yeah, for sure. Uh, yeah. Yeah.
I just don't want to come back suicidal. That's the goal.
I been spending some time cleaning the shop too, in between all the shit I'm doing, and finding a lot of shit that I'm gonna be bringing to shows to sell. And it's like some of this stuff. It's like, why do I have this? What am I doing with a Boba Fett Pez dispenser? You know, it's like,
It'll
and
be worth something someday.
why I picked that shit up. But yeah, I mean, is it? No, I looked it up. $5, I guess, would be a good price for this. People are selling them on eBay for like 8, you know? So just to get rid of shit. It's like, why do I have this? Other stuff that's more horror related, like production stills and stuff like, I got no need for any of this shit. So yes, uh coming soon. A lot of junk to a convention near you.
Joe's used shit. Come and get it. Yeah, you look around and you're just like, who gives a fuck? And it's like you have that little bit of sentimentality attached to it. So you're just like, I don't wanna, this person gave me this. You just gotta say, all right, if that's the way you think, just have one thing from one person each.
Throw it down, you know. Uh, so yeah, that's it. That's the week. So Tom and I are busy as hell. I went to a concert. Took old Holland to a concert he wanted to go to. Me, Roop took him, and we're driving over there. Roop says, "Hey man, you guys haven't been doing the show, the past couple of weeks, huh?" I said, "No, we still do it." He goes, "No, because on Sundays I always would turn in as I'm laying in bed. It's like I'd lay down and put you guys on and watch and listen before I went to bed." Well, sorry, Roop, we don't do the live thing anymore. It's what
Well,
it is.
maybe he was fucking lying all along because if he listened on the last live episode, we said, hey, it's going to be the last live episode.
Maybe. Uh, but yeah, for those of you that did not know, maybe you only listen sporadically. We are no longer live. You just have to tune in to boygob.com, and you can scroll back and listen to all them episodes and shit, or our, what is it,
YouTube page. It's
page.
BOYGOB capitalized. Or like the kids say, YouTube at BOYGOB.
Yeah,
Because they
all
use.
like you're angry. Uh,
Yeah, but we switched to doing it pre-recorded because hopefully the quality's better. That was me knocking on wood again.
Oh, but yeah, that's enough self promotion for now. And any of that bullshit that we're doing, people tune in. I think the few that do, they hear us talk about film, Tom, cinema. You know, and I know you watched a lot this week.
Joe, I watched a remarkable movie this week. Some would call it a classic in the making. I would call it breathtaking. Breathtaking slash jaw dropping. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's fucking all kinds of people out there, Joe. You know?
There
Uh,
is
oh, shit.
all in this.
So, as I tend to do, I scroll the old bad movie subreddit and just see what's going on there. And then I come across a really shitty looking poster, and it's for a movie called Down's Revenge. That's a stupid fucking name. What's this about? So I click on it. Oh my God. Joe, you happen to watch this movie too, right?
I've yet to finish it, Tom. I think I have like
Oh
20
no.
minutes left because it's longer than I anticipated, and I had to do things like help prepare dinner, help eat dinner, help do the dishes and stuff like that. And then I had to fucking take time out and make a list and shit like that. It was God damn, I got to read Spider-Man, so I kept on coming back to the movie, but I've not finished it. But Tom is correct in his assessment. Even without finishing it, he is. This is definitely a movie that is, I'd say, going to be discovered at some point by a number of people. Yeah, fucking clue him in on the plot line, if you will, Tom.
All right. So Down's Revenge, it's made by some Indian dude, and that's really all I can find. The star of the movie, the coast the first credit we see, maybe it's the second credit, it just says Krishna K. So that right there just gives you, hey, everyone's about to be embarrassed. Strap in. This lady didn't even put her fucking last name on this shit. So, Down's Revenge is the story of a high school kid who has Down syndrome, and we see him riding his bike on his paper route,
The hard work.
throwing out throwing out papers and shit. He's talking to his neighbor that says, "Hey, can you hook me up with some coupons?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I will. Don't worry about it. Thanks. You're such a nice boy. Now hurry up to school. I don't want you to be late." He says, "Oh, don't worry. I'm never tardy." And dude, right there, it's just like, what the fuck are we doing here? Jesus Christ. And then we go on to the movie. The person playing this kid does not have Down syndrome. He is not really playing the part like somebody who has Down syndrome. He's playing it like, oh Christ, what am I doing here? I don't want to fucking offend anybody.
Well, Tom, I'm going to take issue with what you just said because, you know, there are certain degrees of Down syndrome that somebody could have. Just because somebody says Down syndrome, Tom, doesn't mean that like a slobbering idiot, and it's like moving all crazy and stuff. Uh, he is high functioning, is what we'll say. And yes, he has a disability, and we'll leave it at that.
But I mean, it's specifically referenced as Down syndrome. And he is not playing it like that at all. He is not playing it like that so much that I paused the movie, Googled Down syndrome to make sure that I fucking knew in my head what this was supposed to be. And this wasn't it. This was just kind of a fucking dumb guy with a helmet.
All right, I'll give you that. But Tom, he was riding a bike, and for safety, you
He
should.
was riding a tricycle, actually.
It was a trike. That's what I said. He was riding a trike.
Okay. So here's one I was about to say, here's the most goddamnedest thing about this movie. But you'll be saying this shit every 5 minutes because ridiculous shit just keeps happening. Like The fucking dude who made this just has to be a confused foreigner. Like, confusion can be the only thing responsible for this fucking movie. I can't believe that this guy is such a fucking genius that he was gonna, like, he meticulously made this masterwork of a bad movie.
He's no
It's just, say that again?
he's no Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah, that he is not. So, Jesus Christ. This kid goes to school and he's getting beat up by the school bully and his fucking multiracial clique of ethnic goons. And he's you can't even say what this guy says to this other guy, and it's fucked because it starts out like it's this after school Christian special, and then they start saying, "Hey, F and other F, you F and R," and it's just like, oh shit, okay.
AF is used, which shocking in this day and age. You know?
And in this kind of movie,
Yeah, it's
oh
not.
shit, we didn't
Yeah,
even say at the very fucking beginning. There's a disclaimer. There's a fucking disclaimer at the beginning of this movie about don't bully people, and if you see somebody getting bullied, call the fucking cops. Okay, so let's get to it. These fucking bullies are like, hey, you FFR, you're gonna do my homework. Why?
yeah,
Why
you're
would you?
the local. I don't want to say R word, but the Down syndrome kid to do your homework, and that's they're insistent. Like they want this guy to do his homework. They're in school, and the teacher assigns a special project for them to go to the cemetery and do some ghost hunting, prove like a paranormal. What? Um, yeah, and Tom, he was getting to it, but as we see, the bullies are a multicultural and racial group. So are this guy's friends. Like a lot of Down syndrome, he has friends. One of them being, I guess, a fairly attractive high school student, and then a fat guy who looks like a nerd.
A big fat Polynesian fuck. You're just like, what is this blob of a bitch? I can't tell what he is. Is it even a he? I don't know. They talk so soft and weird.
And then there's another girl that is a big fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin. She wears a leg brace just like his. She walks, with a stiff leg, and she's enamored with the Down syndrome boy.
All right, Joe. So here's the elephant in the room, and it's this actress, Krishna K.
Mm,
So, you know how I said the actor playing the character with Down syndrome does
yeah.
not have Down syndrome?
Mm?
I don't know, dude.
Okay, so like when you said that, I was gonna make the argument though. No, Tom, I think everyone in this movie has Down syndrome, or they're fresh off the boat. There's a lot of weird accents, a lot of hey, are they just really talking like that, or they
See,
act?
like, remember, I said that this is made by an Indian dude,
Hmm?
like an Asian Indian dude, Crumpy Patel or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I looked it up. She is an up and coming Bollywood star. Didn't have much credits, didn't say much. So, yes, I'm guessing she is from over there.
okay.
However, don't take this shit the wrong way. We're just trying to talk about shit in life. This is a very confusing fucking movie. But very, very big pupils, and their eyes are, both of them are very close to the middle of her face. So, I mean, that's just kind of facial features and structures of somebody who may be or may not be afflicted with things. Did that come off to you like,
No, but she reminded me a lot of the adult actress Abella Danger, uh, and sounded a lot like her too. They were both on par with their acting, except this girl's not, taking it up the butt all the time. Um, yeah, very odd, Tom. But to get back to the film, so this kid just keeps getting his ass kicked, and he can't help but
beat,
run.
beat the fuck out of him? The fucking, like, the bullies, it's a triad. It's a white guy, your stereotypical fuck. It's just your average white guy. And then you got this sumo wrestler, this I'm not going to do the, this is how I talk, because you're not allowed to do that shit.
But
But
that's how he talks, and his name is Chang. Uh,
yeah, it is. And, uh, okay, my friend, when you are a young man, I'm going to need you to black it up for me, okay? When you come in and you deliver your lines, black it the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Holy shit. Then then I was about to say, then the most offensive thing in this movie happens, but it's not.
that.
Holy shit. Yeah, like I said, this has to be made by a confused foreigner.
But Tom's right. They beat the shit out of him every time they see him, and it's like they've got him on the ground. They're just kicking him in the gut, kicking him in the head. And he's all bloody. Uh, his buddies take him out to go bowling, and who's there? The goddamn bullies. Uh,
Well, before they go bowling, we find out that this gentleman is in fact Peter Parker.
he's an orphan. His mom and dad died in an accident, and he lives with his Aunt May.
And she's fucking confused
Mm,
because these fucking kids are coming over to pick up their Down syndrome grandson. She's like, "What? You have friends? This is weird. Don't they know hey, have fun."
yeah. Uh,
And then he goes on, like we learn there, that he loves pennies. He's got a thing for these pennies.
Very superstitious, and they got this right, because Down syndrome's people, they've got this whole ADD thing, or things have to be done in patterns and shit. Maybe that's not right. Maybe I'm confusing the disabilities, but anyway, when he sees a penny, if it's face side up, then he'll pick it up because it's good luck. But if it's tail side up, then you gotta leave it alone because that's bad luck, and that's his thing. He picks up good luck pennies wherever he goes.
So then we get to the old bowling alley, and you know, both F words are thrown, and it's just more of, what the fuck are we doing here, guys? What movie is this? Long story short,
Gets his ass more time, and then bullies. They're not just bullies. They fucking jack cars too. They rip cars off, and as they're taking one car off for a joyride, they see our main character there on his trike. He's triking along, and they say, "Oh, there he is. Might as well stop and kick his ass again." And they do. They kick his ass brutally, but that's
they
not.
literally say, we don't want you, we don't want your kind in this fucking town. Leave. I think that's the black dude saying that.
He took a page
Gee,
out of the Klan's playbook and used those tactics.
I watched this movie, Birth of a Nation. We don't want you here. Jesus Christ.
So they tape him up, throw him in the back of the
They
car.
duct tape this Down syndrome guy
Now,
and fucking, holy shit. Okay, hold on. Hold up. Hey, hey. before this, before this, old old Waskovich, I think his name was. He's just in fucking God damn it, Joe. You just think of this shit and you think you got the most ridiculous shit and then you remember. So he's just sitting in class and then old Bollywood star K comes up and says, "You have to go home. It's about your grandma. You have to go home. I'll go with you. Your grandma's dead." Jesus Christ. So now we're at the fucking funeral and fucking what's his nuts? John Savage.
On
This
Savage, a patch and a ponytail. The Academy Award winning, I believe, John Savage is in this movie.
so he comes up, sorry about your Aunt May. Ah, shit. You know, yeah, your dad told me to look after you, but fuck, I don't know. We'll find you a caretaker or something. And then he hands an envelope to a shady looking guy.
Real
And
mysterious type.
and then we're back at the fucking back at his house with no supervision.
Yeah, they
It,
didn't immediately rush him off. You know, the state didn't step in or anything. You know, he's just at the house.
so he was left alone to be kidnapped and duct taped and thrown in a trunk by his bullies. And then we find out who that shady looking guy who got the envelope was. Turns out he's a contestant in the Twisted Metal tournament. And just ran into the side of this car and flipped it off into a fucking ravine.
He T-bones the fuck out of their car, you know, and it flies into this, you know, culvert, you know, that's just water. The car's flooding. The kids are like, "Oh shit!" The bullies. You know, we're not gonna call them kids because they're not right. Bully to this show, bully. Just hit like and subscribe and get the fuck out of here. Uh, yeah, they have to get out of the car before they drown, but not that they don't have time to get our protagonist, our main character, out of the trunk. They just don't give a fuck. It's like, hey, you know, gots to go. Little did they know that they were being followed by his Hispanic friend, the one that's, you know, somewhat attractive, uh, that would never be a friend of his in real life. But she's like, hey, you know, what's going on? You know, what did he do? And they just threaten her, hey, shut the fuck up.
Well, you should say it how she did.
Where is he? Where is John? Where? Yeah, I didn't know she was supposed to be Hispanic until they said her last name later on in the film as Hernandez. I was like, what country is this chick? You know, what accent is that? And that was true for most of the accents in this, and that's why I said, you know, they're just like right off the boat, or everybody has Down syndrome, and this is like, oh man, this guy did great. He made a whole movie with the Down syndrome cast.
Dude, no, he has to be a very confused foreigner. Because if that's the dude steering the ship, everybody else is kind of like, oh, what? You want me to? Okay, and I'm sure all the confusedness trickles down to everybody. So everyone's just on set, like, okay.
So the main bully, the white guy, you know, he tells her like, nah, we're gonna kill you and your family. You mention this to anybody. So she
He
does.
pulls a fucking knife and puts it up to her neck.
uh yeah. And then we're 3 years later.
But it's not just 3 years. It's literally just 3 years later, but everybody treats it like it's 38 years later. It is fucking crazy.
uh,
It's fucking, the shit is fucking crazy, Joe.
3 years later, the white dude, the white bully, he is
This son of a bitch, he has a fucking picture of him and his friends in his office from 3 years ago. And then he runs into the fucking fat Japanese guy's like, I know you?
this is an important plot element here. All right. Uh, he's like, I don't know, some kind of realtor or real estate lawyer or something, but he's got this new secretary, and she's somebody else. That's like, what the hell kind of accent is that? I can't place where is she Ukrainian or anyway? He fucks her right there.
Like that fucking she comes in and, hey, how are you liking it here? You want to suck my dick? Yep. And then they get married.
They,
Just like that.
yeah, it's like he's calling her sweetheart through the rest of the movie. She's calling him darling. And it's like, did I miss something? You know, did they get married in between scenes? Anyway, after he fucks,
How is you come so successful and shit?
he thinks, you know what? I should take this bitch out for a drink, you know? So he does. And that's when we start getting to the meat of the movie, the haunting in Down Syndrome Town.
What?
Consists of like,
It's not in town. It's more like a ward.
we're seeing our main character, I forgot his name, but
Waskovich.
he's now dressed like Trayvon Martin. You know, he didn't have a hoodie before, but he's got a hoodie now, and he's wearing it the whole time. And
Yeah, it's fucked up because the poster makes it look like it's gonna be like a dead black kid or something. And then you got this white as snow motherfucker walking around, not acting our word, and it's
yeah,
just a confusing movie, Joe.
he does things like shakes a guy's car around, you know, like makes it to where they can't open the doors to the car. You know, he's got Down syndrome. He's not a very good ghost. You know, he doesn't know what it is to scare people. You got to get, you know.
Speaking of ghosts, these fucking idiots. They're using Casper logic. Oh, he has unfinished business.
Unfinished business. Yeah.
I've seen this movie, Casper. I'm going to use it in my fucking deep meaning.
And he leaves, you know, a calling card like the Lone Ranger leaves a silver bullet. Well, he leaves a penny wherever he's been doing haunting.
Face down.
But he kind of wants to fuck with the main bully a little bit, you know. So he doesn't kill him or his new wife, I guess. Tom's right. Were they get married like right then and there after they fucked? I don't know. But they go to a convenience store because they're freaking out. And like Tom said, old Chang, his old buddy that he keeps a photo of in his office, but doesn't recognize when he sees him working at the store. Or tries to rob the store, but the bully uses karate on the robber.
Oh, tell me when that fucking robber you came in and grabbed the lady and said, "Oh, the other friend showed up." Like, of course you thought that's who it was gonna be,
I thought that.
and it wasn't. Oh my god. And fucking white guy just gets into every fucking white guy's fantasy mode. Ooh, I can't wait till I'm in this situation. He fucking does it. He fucking Jim Kelly shit and Jesus Christ.
So,
Jesus fucking
you know, and then cops come, and the cop that's investigating it 3 years later is the Hispanic girl that they had the knife to her throat, that had suspicions like they had something to do with this kid's disappearance. Nobody thinks he's dead, you know, because they never found the car at the bottom of the ravine or whatever it is. I mean, there was some guys that were fishing, and they, I don't know.
think I got me an alligator.
Yeah.
This fucking bitch is acting dumb too. So, Oh, wait, you're that guy? You're that guy who looks exactly the same?
Yeah. So then we cut to what? The white guy and his new bitch, they're at the beach. And that's
Well,
like
I know there's a fucking shower scene. Like,
shower, a
this
long,
movie,
a
it
long.
comes, it, ju- this fucking movie is tonally fucked. It's fucking, like I said at the beginning, it comes off as like some Christian after school special, but then it gets real exploitation-y with the language. And then it cuts to just your average fucking not good horror movie with nudity and gore. It is fucking crazy, Joe.
So then we finally see the third guy, the third bully, the black guy, who looks still young as fuck, but now he's teaching basketball at high school, and he's teaching basketball to guys that look like they're upperclassmen in college. So he looks much younger than them, and then he has a very offensive and exploitative death. Our syndrome
Basketball Jones!
kills him with a bunch of basketballs. Man, that was fucked. He's just against the wall. The basketballs are just coming. Oh,
And it should also be said that he lost his heavily Ebonics influenced accent all those 3 years later, too.
yeah. So next, Chang gets it, and he gets killed in a car wash.
All right. We've all been through car washes before. You know what I'm saying? These fucking felt or chamois fucking whips, they hit your car, they don't leave scratches, they don't break the windows most times and shit. But god damn it, if you walk in one of those, you're gonna be cut to ribbons. Fuck what the greasy strangler says. This shit will cut you to fucking ribbons. And you've never laughed so hard until you've seen a fat Japanese boy get cut to ribbons in a fucking car wash. Oh, 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 oh.
The ghost goes and visits the Bollywood chick. You know, he had given her a pink elephant at some point, and I don't know. We get a flashback scene of her, I don't know, falling down, and the mom coming out and telling, "Hey, get the fuck out of here, dude." And
I don't want you hanging around this kid.
um, yeah, and then we get a long scene of the guy, the white, confessing to his new lady about what happened, but not quite confessing. He's telling his skewed version of the story, so where he could still look innocent, you know. And then we see old John Savage again. Turns out he works for the police, and the Hispanic girl, now a cop, she says, "Hey, do I need you to do some research on this shit stat," and he does. I don't know. It's getting confusing from this point. I had to stop it several times, like I said. And next thing I come to it, and old John Savage is having a flashback scene. Seems he and the Down syndrome ghost father were friends, and he had promised the Down syndrome ghost father that he would take care of Down syndrome ghost before he was a ghost, while he was still just a Down syndrome person. If ever anything happened to this Down syndrome ghost's father, and it did, but well, he was left a pretty tidy inheritance. And this is as far as I got in the movie, but I'm guessing that's why he had this guy like run into the car, T-bone the car so he could get the money. But does the ghost know this? I don't know. Why would he? How would he? You know?
Well, his dad told him in the afterlife.
Yeah. And oh yeah, and in the afterlife, now that he's a ghost, he can talk regularly.
He sure can. He comes back and sees Bollywood K, lets her know everything that fucking happens. And then the cop comes and talks to her and she tells her everything that happens. And then the white guy, he's just like, all right, they're not gonna get me. If there's no body, there's no fucking ghost or some just stupid shit, because the whole fucking movie's just stupid, glorious, beautiful shit. But
Well,
he learns how to make a fucking pipe bomb.
he goes
So
to
he,
advice from an old teacher, you know.
yes, that's right. Fucking, hey, I was your student 3 years ago. Do you remember me?
What can I do about ghosts?
This fucking movie. I swear to Christ, it's awesome.
it's
Jesus.
it it's long. It's too long. There's a lot of scenes that should be cut, and
But seeing as that it's this movie, I'm glad that it wasn't. And the fact that it is so fucking long adds to just the Jesus Christ factor of the whole fucking thing.
uh,
Uh,
John Savage, as I mentioned earlier, is a Academy Award winning actor. You would not know that from watching this. He, like I said, is among the cast. Is like, hey, is this composed of people with Down syndrome? Uh, he's not any better than anybody else in this movie.
this fucking awesome, dude. Not many movies come along that you can just watch and be like, yeah, this is a classic bad fucking movie. You got to dig through a lot of fucking bullshit, just not entertaining at all, fucking garbage, being a fan of bad movies. But when something like this shit comes along, holy shit. I watched it twice this week, Joe.
No, it's because as so many independent filmmakers are trying to make a bad movie, that they are hoping the person that made this was not trying bad movie at all. He was trying to make a supernatural film, you know,
With a message, with a deep meaning.
with message and some sexuality, you know, and it failed on every level, but it failed gloriously, and it it gets it. When did this come out?
2019, Joe.
Oh man,
So just before the world changed.
we've been sitting on not watching this for how long? God damn. Hmm.
Yeah, this is I can't recommend this one anymore. This is like the exact kind of movie that this podcast was originally fucking made for. So yeah, it's on Tubi, it's on YouTube, it's fucking like I said, it's fucking jaw dropping. Every time you think you've seen the wildest shit, more wild fucking shit just hits you, and you're just like, how? How? It just has to be a confused foreigner you can't get mad at.
Down's Revenge. Watch it.
Would recommend. And shit, after that, I would say head on over to dwnproductions.net. Check out masks, bust props, custom work, all shit that I do. If you want something custom made, hit me up and check that out. And then check out fastcustomshirts.com. All Joe's shirts, hundreds and hundreds of t-shirt designs, all reasonably priced. That was a little too slow, but I'm still going to leave it in there when I chop the video down and hope somebody sticks around that long. Oh, shit, Joe. Now's the point in the show where I'd hold up the Shaw Scope box and talk about the movies that I watched. But I already got rid of that fucking shit, Joe. Ty has it. I was up drinking in Peyton one night, so I knocked two of those movies out. It was what the fuck ever. One was like Mad Monkey Kung Fu, and it was about a fucking guy who gets set up for rape, and then fucking he has to go live in an abandoned building and forms a fucking probably a homosexual relationship, like furries before furries. This guy who thinks he's a monkey, and there's fucking like this guy performs fucking tricks with his monkey on the street, but it's not really tricks. He has a chain around the monkey's neck like a leash, and he just like swings it around and pulls the fucking chain. So of course the monkey's gonna have to jump wherever the fucking son of a bitch is getting pulled and hung. So it was fucked. That shit can go jump in a fucking lake. And then there was five super fighters that was just more same old fucking corny bullshit. So I'm just like, I'm drunk enough. I'll fucking turn another one on. And it was fucking Shaolin Invasion or Invasion Shaolin. I got like 2 minutes in, more of the same fucking shit, and said, fuck you. So the next day I got up, tried one more, My Young Auntie. This is about a a young auntie who it's just fucking stupid, and who gives a good goddamn. It starts out like, oh, this is going to be different, great, and then it's just more of the same fucking bullshit. Arrow definitely fucking scored some negative points, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're definitely knocked down in my book, because maybe the only way they could release the Boxer's Omen if it was part of a set. But if that was the case, why wouldn't you put it with more like movies? Not just this one movie that isn't like any of the other fucking movies on the set, even though all the other fucking movies are like all the other fucking movies on the set. I don't know. It just comes off as some kind of fucking dirty dealings, and yeah, just bullshit. Like, fucking, you would think, okay, there has to be one other movie in this box set. Like, yeah, that was cool. Nope. It's all just, dude, like I started out, okay, 36 chamber, it's not great, but I could understand why people like it. And it had, then everything's just the same. You see the same sets, all these people doing their kung fu, and it's just like fucking spastic dancing idiots. Like, what's this fucking nuts? That cocksucker from Friday the 13th 4, uh, fucking Willard. Oh, what's his name? He's dancing like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. He was in Back to the Future, I think, too. Crispin Glover. This shit just fucking, dude. Like, I fucking, old Mikey, he was just like, oh man, you should check out these other Shaw Brothers horror movies. They're great. They're nothing like this. No, fuck them. I don't even want to watch anything these fucking idiots put out now. Like, it's all bullshit. Putting this movie in this box set was a fucking terrible, terrible mistake, and complete bullshit. And it's awful. It's a fucking shitty fucking set. I, to each their own. There's all different kinds of people in the world. But if you're excited, like, fuck yeah, Shaw Brothers, fuck you. That shit sucks a fucking dick. Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck that shit 100 fucking %. Fuck it in the ass mouth and back in the ass again. Fuck no, dude. Fuck no. Fuck no.
Well, Tom, speaking of Arrow, continued my exploration of the Coffin Joe set, and I watched The Strange World of Coffin Joe, which is not part of the Coffin Joe trilogy. It's not even a fucking Coffin Joe movie, Tom. It's an anthology film, and it starts out, it shows some clips from the first two Coffin Joe movies, the last two that I reviewed. And that's it. That's all we get at Coffin Joe. The first story, Tom, has to do with some toughs, out in a bar, and they're like, "Oh, there's what's his name? He makes the best-selling dolls in all Brazil. People love his dolls because the eyes are so lifelike. He's got a lot of money in his house, and you know what else he has? 4 hot daughters. So they go to this guy's house. They beat the shit out of him, and they're gonna, take his money and rape his daughters. So they start raping the daughters, and the daughters, they start to come alive. Like, oh, wow, look at your eyes. And the daughters turn the tables and they start fucking them Amazon style, or Brazil style. And then they start killing them. And you can guess what happens there, Tom. They take those guys' eyes and use them for the dolls. Woo, that sucked. Second story, no dialogue. It's this guy following a girl around, following her around town. He's like homeless, or maybe he was in the movie Down's Revenge, but he's nothing not right with the guy. And he follows her around and he just keeps on staring. And we see the point of view of his stare. He's staring at her feet. He's a foot fetishist. As he's following her around, she starts to have a romance with a guy. They get married, and as she's coming out of the wedding, some woman just walks up and stabs her, stabs her to death, which is odd. But anyway, she's buried and she's put in a crypt, and he goes in there and he fucks her. The next story, Tom. This one, although it doesn't star Coffin Joe, it's the guy Jose Marins that played Coffin Joe. He's playing pretty much Coffin Joe, except without the top hat and shit. He's got kind of like a fro going. He's still got his fucking Frida Kahlo eyebrows. He's still got the long fingernails. And he's just he's a professor or some shit. And he's trying to explain that love is bullshit. That we're all just animals at the core, Tom. And the other scientists are just laughing at him, blah, blah. And he invites one of the other scientists, hey, come on over to the house so I can show you some of the research. Bring your wife along. And then he just tortures them until they fucking turn on each other. No, kill him, whatever. You see, I was right. Love is a lie. That's the end of that, and that sucked. I did look at the special features on this disc, and one of them was another essay, Tom. Another video essay. Not pompous as the last one, but still, fuck it. It's pointless. And then there was a long interview with this guy. What the hell's his name? Stephen Thrower. And he's a guy that's all this shit that's produced when they do the special features from Britain, and it's some kind of exploitation. They talk to this guy. He's in a lot of fucking things, and he's all right. He throws out, yeah. It does have some of the Sadean things like that whole other essay was talking about. But he goes, but nobody knows if Coffin Joe read Desaad or anything, So he kind of invalidates a lot of the shit that other people said, but he's still kind of boring, because he's like a British intellectual type, and they're just fucking put you to sleep, man. Yeah, I can't recommend The Strange World of Coffin Joe, but I'll be checking out the next disc, and we'll see if this thing is translated or not. If it's got the subtitles, that's supposed to be the issue with this one. No subtitles. And I don't speak Portuguese, so.
Fucking arrow. Well, Joe, I watched the hit motion picture Tremors 2.
Hmm.
In this one, Kevin Bacon and Big McIntyre couldn't be bothered to show up. So it's just old Fred Ward, Burt Gummer, and some real annoying dickhead. In this one, the old Tremors are in Mexico. They're disrupting a Mexican oil field. And they're Tremors, so they're all in the ground, disrupting it, sending rocks, and you never see any oil spurts or oil leaking out of the ground. Nothing. And the whole time they're like fucking using dynamite and blowing shit up. So the Mexicans, they say, Mr. Fred Ward, we need you to we need you to kill the worms so we can make the oil to power our cars. And he says, no, no, thank you. Have a good day. But then they send this white guy and he says, hey, come on, man. These beeps are going to give us a bunch of money. Don't you want to take money? And he says, yes. Yes, I do. As long as it's an actual money and not pesos. Oh, no, don't worry about it. I'm giving you the American number. And he says, all right, let's swindle these peeps out of their money. So they head on down to Mexico and start tying dynamite to remote control cars, and they go fishing that way. So they're all blowing up Tremors and shit. And then old Burt Gummer comes down and he starts blowing up Tremors and shit. And then, oh my God, the Tremors were just the first stage, Joe. I guess they have hatchlings inside of them. And then these things that look like Mausers from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they're all fleshy. Like they come out and they're supposed to be more dangerous. So now they're fighting these much smaller monsters and they blow them up and they kill them all and everyone lives happily ever after until the next movie. It's all right. I like this one a little bit more than the second because you don't have to look at Kevin Bacon, so that's always nice. Reba McIntyre's not in it, so that's a plus too. Burt Gummer's not wearing the Cubs hat yet, so that sucks, but we'll get there. But yeah, there's a lot of orange goo flying around, so if that's your thing, it's all right. I might like it a little bit more than the first one, but again, it's just, an all right monster movie that the whole family can watch pretty inoffensive and it's okay. You can't really say, "Oh, Trey Moore sucked a dick, mate." It's like, no, it wasn't terrific, but didn't suck a dick. So yeah, it's another one. So far, we're 2 for 2, and they're both. Yeah, it was okay. Trey Moore's 2, Aftershocks. Mm.
Tom, I watched the critically acclaimed 2023 movie, The Holdovers. Have you heard of this?
I have. I was gonna watch it, and then I said, "Wait a goddamn minute! I'm a man."
So Paul Giamatti is the star of this, and
Oh shit! He was the Rhino.
he's the Rhino, fresh off of Amazing Spider-Man's 2. This movie takes place in the 70s, and Paul Giamatti, he is a frumpy, you know, teacher type, very strict in his classroom. None of the students like him. We got one student that's a particularly pain in the ass, but this student actually makes good grades. You know, he's secretly really smart, Tom. But goddamn, is he just always fucking up and getting in trouble? Well, we're coming on winter break, and in these private schools, Tom, sometimes the students can't go home for one reason or another. You know, so they're left there. They're called holdovers, Tom, and they have to have some staff there to watch over these. And it's old Paul Giamatti that takes on the role. And with him, there's a lunch lady because somebody's got to prepare the meals, right? This lunch lady, Tom, she's a bit sad because she just lost her son in old Vietnam. You know, Vietnam took a lot of youngsters from us. Uh, well, yeah, that's it. That's the crux of the movie. If you've seen movies like this before, you know where it's gonna go. You know, they're gonna mention a bit about each other. They're gonna develop an appreciation for each other and realize, hey, there's more to these people than I thought and I knew. And it's okay. It's an okay movie. Like I said at the beginning, this is getting a lot of critical acclaim. And I like Paul Giamatti, and he's fine in this, but there's nothing special about it. It's just a movie. I'm certain I'll forget about it by next month. I'm certain anybody else that watched it already forgot about it. It's just nothing to it. The guy playing the kid, he looks like he's in his late 20s, you know, and that always puts me out of these movies that are supposed to be about high school students and shit. This guy looks old. Oh, but I don't, I, you know, like I said, it's fine if you like that kind of movie or you just want to put something on that, you know, you can occasionally glance at. It's, oh, okay, they're starting to get along now. Then watch it. I laughed a couple of times, but nothing uproariously. You know, they got in my guts and made none of that. It's just okay.
You talk about how that motherfucker smell like fish and shit.
No,
No, okay.
because you know I'd already forgot about that because it was stupid. You know, but you know it wasn't funny. Like, why even put that element? Hmm.
Sorry, I didn't realize how long we were going and how much longer we had. And
So what else did you watch, Tom?
Joe, I don't think that I have any. Oh shit! Something quick I want to mention. So last week I was all fuck that. They're giving us these fucking midget dogs in the puppy bowl, trying to make us lose. Man, what the fuck is this shit? Little did I know, Joe. That was a Make a Wish player, and I probably should have shut my fucking cocksucker because that player is no longer with us.
Way to go.
Rest in empowerment, sweet pea. I'm glad you thank you for helping to take our team rough into victory this year.
Got to live a dream and just got shit from you.
I didn't know it was a hydrocephalic dog, Joe, but they did. They did. Dog's revenge.
I didn't know it was holograms. I thought they were real dogs. But anyway,
So, Joe, I had to run out and get some beer because I realized how long we were going, and I said, God damn it, I don't want to miss my new favorite segment that we've been doing, or that you've been doing the last few weeks, that I've deemed fuck wops. So, Joe, let's hear about that old Mario Baba. What's he up to this week?
this time, Bay of Blood. And here's another one that I've heard a lot about over the years, Tom. They said, "Oh, you know, this movie it was so influential. Like it was a game changer." Okay, so what's this about? Let me try to figure. Okay, at the beginning of the movie, there's this lady in a wheelchair, and she's rolling through, and then all of a sudden, noose goes around her, and they kick the fucking wheelchair out of her, and she like goes forward, and so she's just laying there hanging. It's a cool death, you know. And it's like, all right, this is gonna be all right. Is it? That's pretty cold blooded shit. The guy that killed her, he walks up and he's like laughing, kind of, yeah, finally, you bitch. And then a knife comes out and somebody kills him. So right then, I'm like, oh fuck, you know, it's none of the one of these who is the killer bullshit. It cuts over to this real estate guy, and he's like, oh yeah, yeah, so and so, because everybody thinks the lady killed herself because somebody hid the body of the other guy. And he's like, well, that's good property on the bay. We need to secure that property. So him and this girl that he's fucking, they're gonna go take care of business. Get the get some kind of release form so they can have the property. And then there's some youngsters, not really young. They're like in their 20s or whatever. They're cruising around, and they go to the bay and they start fucking around there, drinking and fucking. But somebody starts killing them, Tom, one by one, with like a hooked kind of knife type thing. I don't know. They're dying, and then like there's
A
a
sickle?
a girl that comes up. Nah, it's just like I don't know, a gaff. I don't know what the fuck it is. But there's a girl that shows up with another guy, and she's like the daughter of the people that owned the place, and she wants the place. And then somebody else shows up, and they want the place. And pretty soon, everybody's killing everybody, Tom. And everybody that wants this property dies, and it's stupid. It just I didn't give a shit. Uh, and like I said, there's plenty of killing and there's some nudity, but it's just like so boring, man. And there's this thing that Baba does, and he does it in a lot of his movies. It's like he'll like have a long shot, where it's looking in the distance, and then it pans over slowly, and it gets like to where there's something close in front of the camera, so it's all out of focus. So then he pulls back real quick to where it is in focus, and you think, that's all right, you know. Gimmick. He does that like fucking 20 times in this movie, and it's just so old. And it's like, this is the guy that you're saying is such the great cinematographer, the great lighting, and he's who the fuck is he influencing here? Like, I really don't get it because people fucking love this guy. They love him, Tom. Mario Bava. Fuck. What? Yeah, like I'm on 8 movies that I've seen so far, and I liked one of them. This sucks. This just fucking sucks.
Oh shit. I'm glad I never gave a fuck. See, that's a good thing about being me. You can eat all the spaghetti you like, but you know in your heart of hearts, you got no reason to watch that WAP shit.
And I like I said before, I think this is something that horror fans think that they're supposed to like. Because he's been held in such high regard that you're some kind of like a fucking I don't know, a plebeian or something if you don't like his work. Hey, if something sucks, say it sucks. And I'll tell you right now, Bay of Blood fucking sucks.
And little known fact, but when people say something sucks, they're referring to it sucking dick.
Hmm?
Do you have anything else?
No.
Ready for another good one there, Joe?
Sure, tough. Sure.
So next up on our On our walk down, I was going to say memory lane, but I mean, that's not really it. Hey, we're watching Rudy Ray Moore movies, and we're on the second week, which some might say, me, is the best week. The Human Tornado!
Human tornado.
Muses kicked me, didn't bruise my hide. Rattlesnakes bit me, they done crawled off and died. Fucking awesome. One of my favorite movies ever. Like all movies, all time in the top 10. Faux show. I love this movie. This is the movie that made me fall in love with the independent do make what you want to make fucking attitude and shit. And uh for my movie, this is the greatest bad movie ever made. It is fucking awesome, and I love this shit. Joe, how do you feel about the Human Tornado?
I dug out my copy yesterday when I was at the shop, and then of course forgot to bring it home. FastCustomShirts.com. Forgot to bring it home, but I have the Xenon copy still, the older one. I never upgraded. I watched this again last year at Texas Theater Tuesday Night Trash. They did it, and I know Ben was apprehensive to play at my buddy Dollar Ben that does the programming for that, because it is a product of its time, and it does have some stuff that does not play well with some of the clientele that go to places like Texas Theater or Alamo Draft House. But shit, everybody loved it. You know, I sat in there and watched it, and everybody was cracking up at the things he thought, you know, people might have been. Did he just say that? And maybe some people were, but for the most part, people were having a good time with it. And it's a good time movie. Not my favorite of the Rudy Ray Moore movies, but it is a close second because it's got like a lot of quotable shit in here that we can't really quote. There's some stuff that I find is just hilarious, but I'm a prick, you know, and I'm from the 70s. So, like, I grew up around hearing all this shit. And so did Rudy Ray Moore, you know, and he's in the fucking thing and he's not offended by it. He's doing this shit for laughs. So, bear that in mind if you are an uppity type and you watch this movie for the first time. This
So, a little bit of history. They said, okay, this one was a hit. Let's make another. So they found a dude named Cliff Rockmore who was working theater, like directing theater. So they got him to direct it. Uh, Side note, I guess Cliff Rockmore met Mo Howard at a post office and said, "Nuck, nuck, you should work for Rudy Ray Moore," nuck, nuck, or some whatever the fuck they do. And that didn't lead to anything, but it was a premonition. So then there was a few different people who shot this movie. The guy who shot Dolomite, he came back and did some stuff. But Dean Cundy shot some of this shit, which is fucking ridiculous because he worked on your favorite movie, Jurassic Park. And they shot a lot of this movie in what was called the Dunbar Hotel. A lot of Rudy Ray Moore's movies were shot here. And Rudy Ray Moore actually lived here. Ah, boy. So this was a condemned building, didn't have water, didn't have power. He spliced something up to a pole so they can get power, but there was no running water. It seemed like he lived here for years and years and years. So I guess he was a hobo. They said like he had permission to oh yeah, they let him live there in order to keep the vagrants and stuff out. But I mean, if you don't have electricity and you're not having running water, what the fuck's going on? But hey, we got this place. You might have to smell my stinky nuts while we're shooting, but we got this fucking place. Let's do it. So they got the script, everything they needed together. Again, Jerry Jones wrote it, and they set out to make the Human Tornado. Uh Starts out somewhere in the east. I guess Dolomite didn't go back to Africa like the last movie suggested. And they're having a party. Old Dolomite's having a party at his residence, somebody else's residence.
Not made clear.
Whoever's it is, they're cool with him bringing Tricks back to fuck.
Hmm.
So in this one, I guess times is tough, and old Dolomite needs to slang that dick to make ends meet, and he really doesn't want to do it. He's not into having sex with this white lady whatsoever. And people are having a good time partying, and you see a car drive by and stop, and a mother and son are in the car, and oh, the son's just, hey, look at that, all those people having fun, they're having a party. And who the mom says, those aren't people, those are words that Joe giggles at, you see. And then the son looks up and gasps, oh, you're right, mama, those are people that Joe would giggle at, you see. So they proceed to call the cops because black people are having fun.
See, that's why I figured they were in the South. And the way the son and mother talked, and the cops that they call, they're small town sheriff types, and yeah, they
But
go bust up the party, and hey, they say a lot of racist shit to them. They put a fucking a fucking shotgun up to I forgot the Ghostbusters name.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson. This is an early role for Ernie Hudson at
I'm gonna talk about Ernie Hudson quick. That he had a play that he was doing in New York. So if you look closely or not that closely, you'll say, wait a goddamn minute, that's not Ernie Hudson. And you'd be right. That's his brother wearing a bald cap because he didn't want to fucking or shave his head. So he has like a weird mongoloid shaped head, and it's very noticeable. And what adds to the charm of this movie. But yeah, the local Smoky come in, and it turns out the lady that paid Dolomite to have sex with her, that's the sheriff's wife. Doesn't take too kindly to that, and
well, the about to do some raping of himself of his own, from a party goer. But yeah, once discovering that his wife was miscegenating, he wasn't having none of that.
so old Charlie busts into the room and sees that the sheriff's wife's in bed with one of those people, and he does one of these. I can't even make the fucking crazy ass face this honky made, but Jesus Christ, was it hilarious. And the old sheriff sees and he says, "Killer Charlie, killer." And then we have the classic line from the movie says, the lady says, "He made me do it." And then Rudy Ray Moore says, "Bitch, are you for real?" And then she proceeds to get shot in the head. He grabs his clothes naked and then jumps off the side of a fucking hill to get away.
And he really did that jump because they show it twice, and it has a disclaimer. I really did this jump.
Instant replay. But
Yeah,
it wasn't.
it
It
was.
was Jimmy Lynch who actually jumped.
He rolls down, and his buddies are there, and they pick him up, and well, shit, it's time to leave town, right? Time to head back to old L.A.
They need a way to get there. Dolomite doesn't even have any shoes.
Side note about old Ernie Hudson. Um, he came up to my table at one show. I believe it was Frightmare. Eyed the shirt that you're wearing there and said, "You know what? They say I'm in this, but I don't remember being in this." He took the shirt anyway, though. So that explains that. Uh yeah, as Tom said, continue Tom. They don't have a ride. They need to get some wheels. They need to get out of there.
So one of Dolomite's shirtless friends says, "Hey, I'll flag down a ride," and wouldn't you know it, he's he flags down a ride rather quickly that by a very excited white gentleman who couldn't be happier that he's getting kidnapped by all these black dudes and they're gonna go on a road trip together. I seen a movie that was like this, but there wasn't so many dudes in it.
Yeah, so they're gonna hook up with old Queen Bee. They give her a call, and we get to see what's going on in old Queen Bee's club. She's got acts going like Xavier Jackman and his company. Um, yeah,
Do 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 do.
yeah. So
We didn't mention it starts out with Rudy Ray Moore doing some of his act at the beginning, but that doesn't matter. Just pay attention to the black lady shaking her rump. That's what we're really here for.
doing the splits and then
Oh my God. That would scramble my eggs, as in crack them.
yeah. So some acts that they have going on in these clubs, it's like, God damn! I was like, this was entertainment. Shit's not good, And
Jimmy Lynch was pretty good.
I realize there's a cultural difference, but it's like, God damn, we paid for this.
Remember Jimmy Lynch was cool? He was wearing like his singlet bell bottom things with like his big bracelets that looked like they
Yeah.
were fancy cuffs, but they weren't connected to shit. I traveled the world. I traveled all around. He's doing his fucking wacky dancing.
Um, well, Queen Bee, it turns out, is getting hassled by the local mob guy, and what's his name? Carnetti or
Cavaletti.
Avaletti, typical fucking Italian guy, like sleazy, fucking greedy, corrupt business, you know, and Queen Bee's club is making more than his club. And this guy, he's mob, so he's got to answer to somebody. You know,
Chef Boyardee.
he's got a vig that he's got to pay. He's got an envelope
Watch your mouth.
got to deliver. So, and if he ain't making it, well, shit. So he's got to go give Queen Bee the business. Let her know who she's working for from now on. And they go in there, they beat the fuck out of her.
before they do, a guy flips over a chair and fucking Jimmy Lynch says, "What the fuck is this shit?" Terrific. And then his queen bee's getting the shit beat out of. Ah! Ah! I laugh and laugh and laugh every time at this garbage ass ADR.
Now, Queen Bee works at this other guy's club. All the bitches that worked there with Queen Bee, who in the last movie they were all karate experts, they work over there too, but kind of they have to because two of the girls they have held prisoner in like some garage, and they're just chained up, and
But let,
Cabalet.
let me ask you a question about these two girls that are chained up. Did one of them come off a little more sexy than the other one there, Joe?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which one?
But the mom that comes in, Cavaletti's mom, like torture them, and she's like some kind of strega, as they say in Italy. That means witch. I think. I don't know. It's kind of confusing what she's doing. But well, Rudy Ray Moore and the fellas they get in town, they let their effeminate friend go, and he's happy because he, always wanted to visit LA. And now they're just looking.
It's full of people like him.
Yeah. Now they're looking for Queen Bee for like 15 minutes. They go from club to club, and we get to see the different acts at different clubs. And finally, somebody tells her, "Oh, she's here. She works right here."
Well, they were looking for Hurricane Annie,
Hurricane Annie.
the
There you go.
woman with the giant tits.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, she gets Dolomite to do some exercises in bed. And he says, "Fuck that. Let's just fuck." And they do. And
And I was watching that scene and I said, fuck, that's what the mask hole's missing. A black velvet painting of a naked black lady.
well,
So
because I was gonna look for one for you for Christmas.
they're
Next
expensive. They're more than I thought they would be.
up, okay.
But yeah, thinking I might have to whip out the old paintbrush for that and do a reproduction of the one from the movie. But we'll see. But yeah, I definitely looked it up. So I was like, I'm sure there's just hundreds of these just floating around that nobody wants anymore. Nope. Cheapest I found for like an okay one was like $350. Sorry. I'm too Jewish for that shit.
Gotcha.
I'll make my own. Anyways, Joe, back to the human tornado.
Yeah. Yeah. Now he's got to fight Scagnetti and the boys.
Cavaletti.
Cavaletti. And part of the way to do that is to fuck Cavaletti's wife, his big-titted wife, Tom, who she's got fantasies of getting railed by 3 black guys or something.
Because it said she's a nymphomaniac, you see. And that was the way to get the information. Is to dress up as a door-to-door nude art salesman and seduce the mobster's wife. And she comes to the door pretty much naked. So they start making whoopee. And it's so good that all the electricity in the house starts exploding. And then the roof fucking falls on them and surprisingly doesn't cause any spinal damage, which was good. Which was good. So he's fucking her, trying to get the information. Where's the girls? Where's the girls? On the house! On the hill! In Pasadena, a house on the hill in And then we hear a house on the hill in Pasadena. And then we go to the house on the hill in Pasadena, but not before the group comes together and says, all right, we know where this girl and that other maybe a girl is. So now, don't you laugh at that, Joe. How dare you? So now we got to go rescue our friends. And just then, international karate superstar and Chuck Norris's bodyguard, Howard Jackson, walks in. And Lady Reed goes, Howard Jackson! Terrific. Fucking terrific. Why she pulls a Kevin McAllister, I don't fucking know. But she is very excited that they have a world karate champion to help them take down white people.
Well, I hope the girls in California are as good as this apple, Tom.
So now we set up for the big race war of the movie. The
Yeah.
blacks versus the whites.
One thing I gotta mention is when they describe Cavaletti's club, they say that he's getting rich on N-words and dumb honkies, and I thought that was it's a good descriptor there.
He actually said down honkies. So almost. But Joe, keep talking. I'm going to be fiddling around because I need to plug this phone in, apparently.
So do I. So we need to probably get to wrap it up, Tom. Yeah. So from there, it's just a kung fu frenzy. You know, they go in, they're gonna take down Cavaletti and his guys, and it's just like kung fu scene after kung fu scene. Even the ladies get in on this. You know, if they're not gonna kung fu, they're just gonna gun fu them and just shoot them to death.
And until it was explained to Mr. Howard Jackson that this movie was a comedy, he was very offended by Rudy Ray Moore's portrayal of kung fu.
Yeah, his style is ridiculous, but it's funny. It's supposed to be ridiculous. They speed up the camera a lot to make the action look a lot faster than it's going. That makes it even more ridiculous and funny. It's good shit. It's just a funny movie, man. You know.
And the whole time, like this story of Cavaletti's going on, the sheriff's still hunting down Dolomite, trying to get revengeance. Nothing that's still there. So yeah, it's good shit. It's ridiculous as fuck. I know we kind of petered out there towards the end, but that's just because, you know, that Down's Revenge review was just so good. But god damn it, is this movie fucking awesome.
It doesn't end the way you would expect it to either. You know, it's like, all right, well, this is coming up and this conflict's going to get resolved. But, you know, it doesn't do like what you would expect it to do. And, yeah, but old Rudy Ray Moore gets the last word in, and it's funny shit, you know. And then we get a song again to close everything out, closing credits, and it's catchy, you know, and it's fun. Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. If you haven't seen this, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Probably a fucking racist.
For sure.
Yeah, this movie's great for my money. Doesn't get more entertaining than this one. It is, yes, it's bad and it's technically inept, but it is so fucking entertaining and there's so much charm. It's how can you not like it? It has something for everybody.
Yeah, like I said in the last review of Dolomite, that's part of its charm is they run with how inept it is, and independent filmmakers take note, man. Watch this shit because you will learn a lot.
And I did.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things from the movie that I quote often out of context, and it doesn't have to matter, but what are you doing? This is the ladies. This is the ladies. One of his buddies has to take a piss, so he just busts into a fucking gas station bathroom, and there's a fat lady pissing on the toilet, and he has to go so bad he just whips his cock out and pisses in the sink, and all the audio is fucked, so it's just Rudy Ray Moore doing a lady's voice, and she's smacking him with his purse with no pants on, sitting on the toilet. Shit is terrific. What I was saying earlier about Ernie Hudson and his brother, if I can, there's kind of a side by side comparison. So you could say, yep, two totally different people, and one of their heads isn't shaped right.
Mm.
So there's that. Not a whole lot in the book to reference this go around, but yeah, Human Tornado, fucking excellent, entertaining fucking movie. Would recommend highly. Next week, Joe, Petey Wheatstraw, the devil's son-in-law.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I said that's my personal favorite. So yeah.
It's good. We're gonna see a lady give birth to a watermelon. So that's next week, Joe. But this week, we're in mourning.
We are. Before we get to that, though, in Marvel 2-in-1, hey, the Viper, the Silver Samurai, and Boomerang still have control of the Shield helicopter carrier. So Spider-Man's and the Black Widow, who kind of has amnesia, are joined by Nick Fury and Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu, to go in there and take it down. But they don't. It ends on another cliffhanger. And who's going to be the next guest? We've already got enough guests. Just wrap up this story. In Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man's, the iguana is fighting old Spider-Man's, and the iguana doesn't like light, so that's an easy way to defeat him. Well, whatever, what happened
But don't iguanas like light?
Kurt Connors changes himself into the lizard because the iguana took his family hostage, which I think has happened before. Reptilicus or somebody did that shit just a couple of months back. But this time it's the iguana, and at the end of it, standoff, and it'll be concluded next month. But we're here to talk about Amazing Spider-Man's number 190, whatever we're on.
6.
Yeah, and we've left last time. Peter Parker got a telegram that his Aunt May died in the nursing home she was at. So he's got to get over there and, see what's going on in the nursing home. But before we can do that, Joe Robertson's tired of J. Jonah Jameson's shit. He quits, Tom. He quits the fucking Bugle. What else happened? I don't know. He's just trying to...
Spider-Man has to rush over to see a coffin. Oh,
Yeah.
that kind of looks like her body, I guess. Shit. Hey, everybody. Aunt May's dead. Oh, I'm kidnapped. See you next issue. Amazing Spider-Man.
Goes to the old house and it's all torn up. It's all fucked up. That's it. That's it, Tom.
This was for them having last issue. Aunt May's dead. This was a whole lot of nothing.
Pointless shit.
Yeah, I guess we're just gonna be scratching our balls until that big issue 200. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But that's all right, Joe. That sucks. I don't think we did the Human Tornado justice.
We
I
did.
hope we did.
That was kind of a weak review. We could have done it better, but it's done.
Yeah. It's a great movie. Please go watch it. Go watch all the fucking movies. They're terrific. Fuck. I mean, to be fair though, Down's Revenge was fucking awesome. And
Talking
we
about
had
any
and we
gave enough justice because, like, it's something you gotta see. You gotta see it. You know.
and we've talked about Rudy Ray or a Human Tornado specifically a couple of times in these 9 years we've been doing it, but goddamn Down Revenge stole the spotlight, you some bitch. Crazy foreigners. Joe, you like lists that take you back, make you think of the good old days?
No, Tom. There were no all good old days. But yeah, Tom's list suggestion this week was movies that we liked when we were in high school. And at number 5, a movie that I really liked in high school, Tom, was Nightbreed. Saw it in the theater, fucking loved it. Went back and saw it the next day. Think I went back and saw it one more time. God damn, was that God? Wow, wow. Now I watch that movie and it's like, man, this isn't good. This is There's so many plot holes in this shit. What? I don't remember this fucking claymation sequence. Oh, that was not in the theatrical version. Well, it shouldn't have been in the theatrical because it looks like shit. Fuck. This Danny Elfman score. God damn, does this sound stupid? Yeah, a lot of shit that we liked in high school that if we go back and you're not beholden to nostalgia, I know a lot of people are, but I'm not. I can admit when I was wrong. And I was wrong on Nightbreed.
So Freddy vs. Jason didn't come out when I was in high school. It came out right after high school and right before I went to college. 11 times in theaters, Joe. 11 fucking times. Granted, I was able to see it for free a lot of those times, but still, I spent a chunk of my time sitting through that 11 different cities. But Joe, my number 5, it's not really a movie, but it's a collective. And I think for teenagers at a certain time, this was, they could say, yeah, I really liked trauma movies back then. Nowadays, not so much, I tend to like the documentaries about the movies they made better than the movies they made, and tend to like the movies they distributed rather than the movies they made. But, I'll remember Trauma for being something. They used to call me Tommy Tromo.
So are you just saying the trauma movies in general?
Yeah.
That specific one you're talking? Okay. All right. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. At number 4, and this would be number 1 on any other list we did. It didn't come out when I was in high school. I saw this probably when I was in elementary, and probably when I shouldn't have. Excalibur, but I would watch that every chance I got. I had a VCR in my room, and nothing was going on. I would just throw it on so it could be on. Watch the shit out of Excalibur throughout my youth. So that's number 4.
If I remember correctly, that's your favorite movie of all time.
It's a fuck yeah. So of course it's on this list.
You're full of nostalgia, you fucking hypocritical dildo.
No,
Smack
it's
you in your cocksucker.
fucking good.
My number 4, I have Halloween H2O. Holy shit. You know, I first seen it when I was in high school, and I thought Jimmy Lee Jerklin cutting off what we thought Michael Myers' head was the coolest fucking thing ever. I was just like, yeah, that's how you end it. That's how you end the fucking movie. Yeah. What a fat little dildo I was. Jeez Louise, that movie is fucking of its time, especially because you got fucking old Josh Hartnett co-starring in it. If that doesn't say timely, I don't know what the fuck does, but jeez. Fucking first Michael Myers movie to have a CG mask. Jesus Christ.
Is that the one where he's hanging from the pole in the fucking hallway? Yeah.
Hell yeah. The kids are fucking gone and there's just a couple left at campus, kind of like the holdovers.
Holdovers, yeah.
LL Cool J's writing fuck books in his little booth. Classic. Jimmy Lee Jerklin's packing meat. Good stuff. Hot stuff. But yeah, that was a transsensual in the human tornado, Joe.
Hmm.
In the commentary, they kept referring to her as a man. I was shocked listening to that joke. As they were talking, they were just like, oh yeah, this guy on set, he was coming up to us like, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna ask her out. I'm attracted to her. And then they told him.
It dropped a bomb on me. Baby.
But yeah, I didn't think that they had breast implants back then. But I mean, those were clearly breast implants because well, the world don't move to the beat of just one drum.
At number 3, Tom, I have The Naked Gun.
Fuck.
Watch this shit over and over again. Would I still think it's funny now? I don't know. I haven't seen it. Probably because it stars George Kennedy. The great George Kennedy is in it as I forgot his name in it. I think O.J. Simpson is Nordberg. I don't remember Kennedy's name.
Well, the other cop.
Yeah. The other.
He's the other cop. He's not Leslie Nielsen. Fucking bitch named Leslie. Yeah, man, I think everybody liked fucking Naked Gun when they were younger, and they're all just too scared to go back and watch it. Just like, nah, I just want to remember it for me thinking it was funny. All this corny bullshit. Who's on first? Huh? What? Yes, who's on first? It's all that kind of fucking bullshit.
It's bingo.
Fuck that. I got the fucking trilogy Blu-ray somewhere around there, but fuck no, I would say I might still have it, but knowing me, I'd say I never want to take a chance in watching this shit again, so I'm gonna get rid of it.
If I watch any of them, it's gonna be the 33 and a third because it features our Texas Rose, Anna Nicole Smith.
In her final insult. Fucking hell. What are we on?
3.
Number 3, I got a fucking movie that I kinda saw part of this past year. And it's just like, nope, I'm gonna walk the fuck out of here because this shit is really starting to suck dick. And that is Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses. I thought that shit was so fucking cool when it came out. I was like, oh shit, Sig Haig's in it. He's from all those fucking old movies that I watched. God damn, this is fucking awesome. And fuck, Ooh, watching back at it now. Oh, like I said, Captain Spaulding's stuff at the beginning holds up. That's still funny and cool, but after that, it just goes to fucking Dildoville, and I had to bounce, dog.
Yeah. But even that first shit with him, even that stretches on too long. Uh, yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, this is all right. This guy's kind of fun. I didn't like it from the first time I saw it, but yeah, it's got a lot of fans. A lot of fans. Mm.
The sequel, one of the worst and most disappointing movies I've ever seen. And people sucking fuck out of that movie to no end, and because it sucked. And as we learned earlier, when people say it sucks, they mean it sucks dick.
At number 2, Tom, I have Talk Radio. You ever seen this one?
No, but I know about it, Joe. Little
Just
before my time.
just a guy and doing his radio show, and it was a call-in radio show. You know, before like Howard Stern and all them were real big, and he's a shock jock, maybe. Now that term hadn't been invented, but I just thought it was cool as fuck. I thought the people calling in was cool, and it's just like, man, this would be a good play. Hey, it was based on a play written by the guy who plays the main guy in it, and yeah, good shit. I haven't watched it again. I don't know if I'd like it, you know, but at that time, I dug the fuck out of it again and again and again.
My number two is a movie that still fucking holds up and that I watched almost a year ago. And that is the Red Man and Method Man classic, How High. Used to watch this fucking every day after fucking high school and smoke shitty weed. It was some of the best days of my life, Joe. And it has your boy in it, Jeffrey Jones. You always say how much you like that guy.
I've got his autograph.
Oh, shit. But yeah, How High, still fucking awesome. Still rocking the deodorant they were promoting way back then.
And number 1, Tom, number 1, a movie that I watched again and again, and I will go revisit it. I gotta see, hey, does this hold up? Hollywood Shuffle. Ever seen it, Tom?
Is that with Andrew Dice Clay?
The Robert Townsend classic.
No. Okay.
Robert Townsend is an aspiring actor, and throughout the course of the movie, there's little skits. You know, it's really a skit movie, and it's like all the shit that he's imagining. You know, Hollywood would be like, or you know, perceptions of Hollywood, and it was fucking funny. It was all the people that were doing that shit at the time, like Keenan Ivory Wayans and all them. They're in it. You know, that whole crew, David Allen Greer, all them.
Monster?
It's funny, or it was funny. I don't know if and it had a message at the end, Tom. It had a fucking message. You know, be true to your school. Be true to your.
Like you would to your girl.
Hollywood Shuffle. Maybe I'll watch it next week. You know, for next week and see if it holds up, man. I watched the fuck out of this movie. I thought it was so damn funny.
Number one, I got a movie that I still like that I'd still say is in my top 10, and that's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Fucking good stuff. Jim Cena fucking cracks me up. Yeah, man, I always, except when I was like fucking 8 years old and saw the first one, I always thought the first one was boring, but part two's where it's at. Good stuff. Hot stuff. And next week, Joe, I'm guessing you don't have one. We'll find out. All right. So head on over to dwnproductions.net. The newly facelifted, updated dwnproductions.net masks, bust, props, custom work, fastcustomshirts.com, hundreds and hundreds of t-shirt designs, all reasonably priced, custom work. You need a custom shirt, he'll do it. Joe, I hope you have a great week, and I hope everybody out there has a great week. And until next time, boy God.